Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Tanner Holbrook.
And I'm Victoria Moton. Thanks for joining us. The American Sign Language Club here at Ball State University spoke to students about the importance of understanding the disabilities of students on campus. NewsLink Indiana's Jenna Liston has more.
Using a system of communication with visual gestures and signs, students at Ball State University spend their evening listening and understanding the disabilities of some adults here on campus.
We have a lot of students with disabilities that have non-apparent disabilities, so they could be sitting next to them in class or be in a roommate, with somebody in a dorm room, and so you're not going to necessarily know who a person with a disability is right off the bat. And so it's helpful to know about people with disabilities because you're going to interact with them all the time.
Courtney Jarrett, Associate Director of the Services of Disabilities here at Ball State campus, hopes that students will reach out to those who are deaf, gaining social and educational experiences with American Sign Language.
The main thing I wish people would take away is that just because they're deaf or even hard of hearing doesn't mean they can't do what we do as hearing.
But I think Ball State does an amazing job in giving accommodations to students that need them, and a lot of times schools can't afford to do that, and that's the one thing I love about Ball State. I'm not going to criticize my own school because they're amazing, and I have, but with transferring in, the other school didn't have the same pieces that Ball State has.
From NewsLink Indiana, I'm Jenna Liston. Back to you in the studio.
To learn more about how you can be involved with ASL, visit their website and follow them on Twitter at BSU ASL Club.
Alpha Chi Omega Sorority and Delta Tau Delta Fraternity paired up to host the 43rd Annual Watermelon Bust. Over 110 teams of 6 showed up on Saturday to bust melons for a better way. Reporter Ashley Lehue has the story.
Set, go, go! Oh my goodness!
I'm at La Follette Field on Ball State's campus, the site of Saturday's Watermelon Bust. Now, all proceeds from Watermelon Bust benefit A Better Way in Muncie and can be up to 40% of their annual funding. It's all for a great cause, but I will say that some watermelons were harmed in the making of this event. Philanthropy Chair Jessica Zachary and the rest of Alpha Chi Omega support domestic violence awareness as their national philanthropy.
It's important to make women feel confident about themselves, so giving them the opportunity to recover from those violent domestic situations allows them to come out of their shell and be the best version they can be.
A Better Way provides shelter for victims of domestic violence. Coordinator Watasha Barnes-Griffin explains what the proceeds help support.
The women and victims that come through A Better Way, they don't have to pay for anything, so their food, their hygiene, their clothing, we take care of all of those things.
In Muncie, Ashley Lehue, NewsLink, Indiana.
In addition to housing victims in a safe location, A Better Way operates a 24-hour crisis hotline, after-school programs, and advocacy for victims of sexual assault. Now, Victoria, the weather today was a little hot outside.
It was. I'm hoping to see maybe some rain come in to cool us off a little bit. Let's go ahead and give it over to Nathan.
Yeah, so that rain you talked about, Victoria, is truly in the forecast for tomorrow. Let's first take a look at the last 14 hours out in McKinley and Riverside. You notice that conditions overall today were once again spot on, perfect for this time of year. And what a beautiful day overall that we had currently outside. 69 degrees with those calm winds and a little bit of an overcast sky. Our current conditions not necessarily indicating that right now. For the rest of the evening, clouds will continue to build in as a pre-indicator of the system that's about ready to move in through tomorrow. Bus stop forecast for tomorrow morning, 54 degrees as the kiddos head out to school, and then as they come home, we are going to see those scattered showers. More of that's coming up in my complete forecast, but we're also taking a look at the next cool down that's in store for us, and also the sunny skies that are going to stick around for midweek.
Life on Mars, researchers say could be. Today, NASA officials announced they discovered flowing water on the red planet. As Jeremy Roth reports, the findings have scientists excited for the possibility of finding living things far from Earth.
We know that Mars could have supported life.
NASA researchers could barely hide their excitement at Monday's press conference. Images from the Mars Reconnaissance rover reveal water flowing on the surface of Mars.
The existence of liquid water, even if it's super salty, briny water, gives the possibility that if there's life on Mars, that we have a way to describe how it might survive.
Scientists say the moving salty water is the cause for seasonal dark streaks they had observed on the planet, and its presence could impact future exploration.
Looking forward, it is imperative for us to further understand the source of these water for these features, as well as the amount.
Water's impact on future human exploration aside, everyone seems most excited about the possibility of finding life on another planet.
To me, the chances of there being life in the subsurface of Mars has always been very high.
And liftoff.
We are now at a point, technologically, with over 50 years of successful spaceflight, that we have the capability to go there, ask this question of is there life on Mars, and answer it.
NASA officials say they will launch the InSight lander in 2016 to look at the interior of Mars, and in 2020, a new NASA rover will bring Martian samples back to Earth for analysis. I'm Jeremy Roth, reporting.
This isn't the first time researchers have announced water on Mars. In April, NASA found the planet may have once had an ocean similar to the size of the Atlantic.
Skywatchers got a show in the heavens late Sunday night into Monday morning, a supermoon total lunar eclipse. Straight line making the moon appearing much brighter than usual and red in some places. A lunar eclipse and supermoon is relatively rare. The last one was in 1982. It won't happen again until 2033. The supermoon lunar eclipse was visible from most of the Americas, Greenland, Western Europe, Western Africa, and parts of the Antarctica.
Later, find out why Facebook users were left in the dark today.
And we'll take a look at who could be running for the Speaker of the House position after this.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Facebook had a major outage today that left many users unable to access the website. Facebook, a popular social networking site, went down around 3 p.m. today, the second time the website has been down in less than a week. As a result of the outage, the hashtag FacebookDown was the top trending topic on Twitter. The company's stock plummeted nearly 3.8% to $89.24 today due to today's outage. It is unclear what caused today's Facebook disruption.
Pope Francis is back in Rome now after his first ever visit to the United States. While on the plane, he spoke to reporters about sexual abuse within the Catholic Church. He met with 5 abuse victims while in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and reiterated his commitment to hold priests accountable. The pontiff departed just hours after celebrating Mass. His trip also took him to the White House and the halls of Congress. He filled New York City's Madison Square Garden and paid his respect at the 9/11 Memorial. And at the United Nations, Pope Francis urged world leaders to think of the poor.
On Friday morning, an emotional Speaker of the House announced his resignation. Speaker John Boehner revealed this news to his fellow Republicans. This shocking statement shows the difficulty of leading a divided political party that started leaning more and more conservatively. He said his first job was to protect the institution, and leading any longer would do irreparable harm. The leading candidate is Representative Kevin McCarthy of California. Yet the preferred candidate is Representative Paul Ryan, but he says he doesn't want the job. Speaker John Boehner says he will be leaving by the end of October.
Kevin McCarthy says he'll run to become the next Speaker of the House. The California Republican is currently the House Majority Leader. He sent an email to House colleagues today announcing he's running for the position. In his email, McCarthy said the People's House works best when leadership listens to members and respects the legislative process.
America is struggling. We're struggling with a stagnant economy, a failed health care law, and so many are living paycheck to paycheck. They are looking for individuals that put people before politics. I'll make one promise. I will work every single day to make sure this conference has the courage to lead with the wisdom to listen.
No date has been set yet for the closed-door secret ballot election to select the next House Speaker. Current Speaker John Boehner plans to leave Congress at the end of October.
Donald Trump is now vowing to drastically cut income taxes for millions of Americans. The plan will provide major tax relief for middle income and most other Americans. The biggest beneficiaries will be individuals making less than $25,000, as they would pay no tax income. One of the biggest questions on everyone's mind is how Trump plans to raise enough revenue to offset his plan's tax cuts. Trump says he will kill certain deductions for the rich and create incentives for U.S. companies to bring money back from overseas.
Coming up after the break, we'll see what the weather will look like for homecoming.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back. You know, Tanner, it has been so muggy outside. I'm hoping that we can start looking for a little bit cooler weather.
Yeah, I think there is going to be some rain showers coming up, so why don't we toss it over to Nathan for your NewsLink Indiana weather forecast.
Yeah, today, beautiful day overall. Those sunny skies stuck with us once again into the area. And then we are tracking the next chance of some rain showers to move into the area. Let's first take a look at the last 6 hours on radar. You notice that those cloudy conditions continue to build in this evening and not necessarily producing too much, maybe not even some precipitation that's hitting the ground. Overall, regionally, we see that the rain shower, our next system that's moving in, is located up towards the Rapid City area, out towards Nebraska and Omaha. Highs today all across the state of Indiana, quite beautiful. Places like Lafayette, 82 degrees, Kokomo, 82, and then places like Indianapolis, 84, and places like Shelbyville, 87 degrees today. Muncie, just a little bit cooler at 79 overall, currently outside. The temperatures have cooled off from our daytime high today, 69 degrees currently out there. The dew point is pretty low, so the temperatures feel just like they are. The calm winds overall out there, nothing to worry about overall. Look at tonight's overnight low, 63 degrees with those cloudy and scattered showers that could develop late into the evening, early into tomorrow morning. But that's our next story. Let's take a look at Precision Cast stopping here at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. You notice that the cloud cover has built into central Indiana, and that's going to be overcast to start your day off. And then we're looking this line of rain showers right here. As it moves into the east central Indiana, you notice that the scattered showers will develop into the late afternoon into the evening hours around 4 o'clock, and then we see that the front will move through and allow us to begin those clearing conditions into the day on Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday, where we're tracking those extremely beautiful conditions. Looking at Precision Cast temperatures, because we are tracking a change in temperatures, you notice that the graphic here stops at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Look at temperatures at 9 a.m. 54 degrees here in Muncie. The cold front moving through the area tomorrow evening will allow us to finally cool off those temperatures, making it more fall-like. For day tomorrow, remember that our temperatures will stay in the mid to upper 70s as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Overall, 75 degrees is our daytime high tomorrow with those scattered rain showers that are possible. Looking at the 7-day forecast, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the sunny skies return back into the area, and then for the weekend, once again, beautiful weather conditions coming in for us in our weekend. We are tracking a chance of some scattered rain showers that could develop into Saturday afternoon, late evening, and of course, next week, another beautiful week of fall weather.
Hearing that we're coming up on some beautiful fall weather gets me so excited.
I know. Well, thank you, Nathan. Coming up here on NewsLink Indiana, an undefeated streak comes to a surprising end.
And Ball State football takes on its second-ranked opponent this season, next on NewsLink Sports.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching. So it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Casey Miller with your Delaware County Sports Update. And we begin with the Ball State football team on the road this weekend visiting 17th ranked Northwestern. And Riley Neal, he's a freshman making his first career start for the Cardinals. It's a Yorktown product right there. And here he is in the second quarter. Neal, he's going to find Jordan Williams in the end zone. That's a 22-yard touchdown pass. Ball State goes into halftime up 10-7. We move to the third quarter now. Northwestern's Clayton Thorson, he gets it to Austin Carr down the near sideline. That 25-yard touchdown pushes the Wildcats ahead 21-10. Later, Ball State still trailing. Neal throws it up, and it's caught by Jordan Williams, his second score of the night. Ball State still trailing by 8 now. And it's going to turn into desperation time for the Cardinals here in the fourth quarter, down 5. Neal finds Williams again. He tries to lateral, but that ball ends up on the ground. Ball State recovers, but he can't advance this one, and it's over. Ball State falls to Northwestern 24-19. We caught up with quarterback Riley Neal after the game, and he was pretty pleased with his performance.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I need to work on, starting with that fumble on the 5-yard line and just different reads throughout the game. But, so, I mean, with the exception of the fumble, I thought it was decent.
Now, following the Northwestern game, linebacker Ben Engel was named MAC West Co-Defensive Player of the Week. Engel posted a season-high 12 tackles against the Wildcats and anchored a Ball State defense that forced 3 turnovers in the first half against the number 17 team in the nation. The senior brought down 2 ball carriers behind the line and added a pass breakup in his award-winning effort. On the season, Engel has 30 total tackles, 2 shy of fellow linebacker Sean Wiggins. Engel and the Ball State team return home this weekend for a homecoming contest against Toledo. And Yorktown Volleyball's undefeated reign came to an end over the weekend at the hands of the Muncie Central Bearcats. In the final round of the Muncie Central Invitational, the home team came away with a 2-0 victory over the Tigers to claim the tournament crown. Central got off to a hot start with a 25-11 win in the first set and finished the job in the second with a 25-21 win. The Tigers hope to get back on track tomorrow night at home against New Palestine. And finally tonight, the Ball State soccer team opened league play over the weekend with 2 Mid-American Conference wins. Senior midfielder Chelsea Swackhammer earned MAC Offensive Player of the Week honors for her performance over the weekend. Now, Swackhammer's first half goal Friday against Eastern Michigan marked the 3rd consecutive game she scored and pushed the Cardinals to a 2-1 victory against the Eagles. Ball State followed Friday's win with a second at Bowling Green on Sunday. The Cards recorded a 1-0 win in Kentucky. Ball State controlled the ball very well over the weekend, outshooting its opponents 40-14. Now, Swackhammer and the women's soccer team returned to action, this one on Friday against conference opponent Toledo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Casey, sorry about that. Coming up, on The Daily Show has a new host, and we'll have details after this. "31-year-old South African comedian Trevor Noah steps into some very big shoes tonight when he takes over for Jon Stewart at The Daily Show. But Noah is managing expectations with a very blunt message. He's not Jon Stewart. He says the show will still be a serious news satire at heart, but that there will be changes, while skewing the media was one of Jon Stewart's hallmarks. There may be less of that under Noah. CNN's Brian Stetler sat down with Noah, asking him how he will bridge the gap between Stewart's legacy and the show's future.
The Daily Show is one of the most important liberal institutions in America. For liberals, for progressives, Jon Stewart was an icon. How can you come in and possibly give people that same kind of comfort or encouragement or whatever it is at the end of the day that Jon Stewart was giving to those people who were fed up with the rest of the media?
I consider myself a progressive, but I don't limit myself, honestly, to the world of liberal or conservative, because I didn't grow up in that world. We didn't have those staid views or political standpoints. So in political parties in South Africa, there are conservatives and liberals within the party. There's fights within it, which I think is a healthy thing to have. And so that's what I'm going to try and do, is get to a place where I go, this is how I feel. I also live in the world. I'm also seeing these things. It's not like I sleep and live in a vacuum that is the Daily Show. I want the world to be a better place. I want things, to be addressed.
So there will be some advocacy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's who I am as a human being. That's why I connected with Jon Stewart. We had a connection. We shared that. So we would talk about that, and that's why he said, "Come onto the show. Let's do more of this." And so we continue that. Yeah.
You've said you're not a political junkie. So will the show be a little less political? Maybe less of the outrage that we heard from Jon Stewart toward the end of his tenure?
I think his outrage was very justified. I hope that the time it takes for me to become outraged is a long time. I hope to enjoy my period of peace, in terms of how I look at the news and what I interpret from it. But to not be a political junkie does not mean that I am not immersed in what is happening around me. I think politics and social issues affect so much more than we generally think it does. It works its way into the media, it works its way into the entertainment industry, and even into sports in the smallest ways possible. So once you identify that, you find that everything is linked, and you can make any story, or you can bring to the attention of the audience any story that you feel pertains to what we're going through in life.
How much are you going to be aiming your jokes at cable news?
How many things are you going to be doing that you consider joke-worthy?
Touche. I guess we'll find out in the months to come.
I guess we will, yes.
But we saw, especially toward the end of Jon Stewart's tenure, a lot of criticism of Fox News, calling it BS Mountain, and it was a kind of a regular series for him. Are you going to be as interested in, say, BuzzFeed as, say, Fox News or CNN?
Well, I always have to be honest about what I'm consuming, what news is coming into my world, what news is coming into the Daily Show world, and how we feel about that. So we will look at everything on a case-by-case basis. It's not like Fox News doesn't exist any longer.
It sounds like you're not coming in with like a list of targets.
No, that's exactly what I'm not doing, because I don't have targets. Why would I have targets? I've never had a job where my purpose is to skewer the media in that way. And who knows, the Daily Show's new vision may not be particularly to skewer the media. It may be a different approach. That is what the show became. And so Trevor Noah and the Daily Show may be going in a slightly different direction, but that does not mean we will not be watching you, Brian. That does not mean we will not be watching you.
Trevor Noah's Daily Show debut comes 3 weeks after Daily Show alum Stephen Colbert takes over at CBS's The Late Show. And before we sign off, why don't we get another check of the weather?
Yeah, tracking some rain showers to move in late morning tomorrow, but also some showers to move in late evening tomorrow. Overall, upper 70s for tomorrow's forecast. However, temperatures are going to cool down for the rest of the week. Upper 60s for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sunny skies, making for another beautiful week once again.
That's all for tonight. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.